Hey, what's going on, everybody? Listen, I know my format's a little different this time, but I got some special guests that I want to
Yeah.
introduce to this channel. These guys are members of the Dorm Talkin channel. Make sure you go subscribe to them. As you can see, they are already going to be a lot of fun. So go check them out. Go check out their channel. It's going to be fire today. And just remember, when you come over here, everybody's a king. Whether you're an art king, whether you're a social media king, you can even be the dream king. Like, we're all kings. This is King's Island over here. So, first of all, before I start off with these topics, how are y'all doing? Like, I feel like us as people, we don't ask each other our well-being. So, how are y'all
Straight. Big straight. I mean, good.
doing?
We're also straight, but we're good.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's always nice to have a nice chilling conversation at the end of the week, especially when you've been working hard and stuff.
Absolutely.
Matt, what have you been doing?
But I've been painting, like helping rip up flooring and stuff. I'm working at my church, so yeah. And I have online classes and stuff like that.
About you, Jackson, what you been up to? How's the business?
Been working, man. Literally haven't worked out in like 3 days because on Monday I had to remove 3 rose bushes from somebody's front yard, and they had been there for like 5 years, so they were like big and huge, and they had a whole bunch of thorns, and so I had to like get like under them and like remove them like by the roots and stuff. That was like the hardest thing I've probably done this summer. So yeah, that was that. But I got paid for it, not gonna complain. My back hurt big time, but hey, that's whatever.
Mess. Inside. How you doing, bro?
Nothing much. Yeah, I'm just chilling, fam. Just chilling. Honestly, spent the last week figuring stuff out for my career and different stuff like that. On Zoom calls, talking to people, trying to see like, what's up? How am I supposed to get to point A to point B? But other than that, same old, same old.
Isaac, what you been up to?
I mean, I'm just kind of chilling and stuff. Like, I know I've been trying to get in contact with Oakwood, trying to get this financial stuff figured out. But yeah, but I mean, this is same way. I know you guys all have to deal with that too, but yeah, but I'm getting through it though.
Yeah. And then, bro, do we really gotta ask Nate what he's been up to?
Nate, I don't know, bro.
Hey,
Nate's on some stuff tonight, bro.
You can just
I'm gonna edit that part out.
Edit that part, bro. Send me that part though. That part was funny.
Jalen, bro, which are you good, Jalen? We didn't ask how you were.
Oh shoot, yeah, I'm straight, bro. Just been.
he's straight.
I've just been good. This week has just been all about trying to get cleared and trying to clear my stuff for Oakwood and stuff. So this close to getting cleared. I had to drop a class trying to get this insurance off. Like, I'm this close to getting cleared.
You taking 16 credits?
He's this close, guys. He's this close.
I am. I'm very close. But I'm like close, man.
Wait, Jalen, you taking 16 credits? So you had to drop one?
Yeah.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. So I had to go from 17 to 16 to get that little discount. But yeah, so I've been chilling. I quit my job the other day. So
quit the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I stopped feeding I stopped feeding hungry kids.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Nah. So I could, get ready. I'm not gonna lie. I might go back. If this whole school thing doesn't work out, bro, I might go back because that was a nice check.
I feel it. It was consistent too.
It sure was.
I know it was.
I missed that. Oakwood don't pay you nothing, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, $2 is more than
$6.20 is not
more below minimum wage.
Bro.
This is all you facilitate.
Yeah, it's all you.
So Nate's being weird, so we're gonna move on to our first. For our first topic though, it's it's all over the news. I mean, you see it everywhere, just about every day. It's the schools reopening discussion. Should they go? Should they stay home? Go virtual? Like here's I'll start. Here's my thoughts on it. If you think that the best option is to just let this virus disappear and kind of just go away, you sadly mistaken. This thing, Corona doesn't care what your political views are. Corona doesn't care what you feel like kids should go to school. Corona wants that body. Corona wants that immune system. They're like, nah, Corona's like, yo, I gotta get your immune system. So kids going back to school is not just gonna diminish this pandemic, by the way, that we have, which literally means global disaster. That's pandemic. So the fact that this thing is worldwide and the fact that the majority of schools are not taking the necessary precautions in order to even ensure that kids are going to be following social distancing guidelines, wearing a freaking mask, which for some reason is a problem for some people, which I don't understand. But wearing something as simple as wearing a face covering over your face does not decipher your constitutional right. It has nothing to do with that. All men are created equal. We lived in a time where all men were not created equal. This doesn't make sense to me.
Well, what I'd say is, especially for grade school levels, those I feel like it's going to be the worst in, because for colleges, like the main thing you have to worry about are like for dorms and stuff, like at universities. Like if we have an outbreak at a university, I feel like it's going to be either in the dorms on campus or off campus, or it's going to be like in a classroom or something like that. But with grade school, like people have classes just intertwined like with everybody inside the whole entire school. So I feel like that's going to be a harder way to keep an outbreak from spreading to like the whole school, the teachers and everything. And plus at a younger age, you're more physical and stuff, like when you're playing, when you're talking, when you're eating lunch and stuff like that. So that's why I think that's going to be
why are they using kids as like a bait? Like, yes, it won't affect children as much as adults, but that doesn't mean that's like sticking a knife inside somebody's body 3 inches instead of sticking it 10 inches. Okay, yes, 10 inches is a lot worse, but I'm still sticking a knife inside of somebody's body for 3 inches. That's still gonna hurt you. It doesn't matter how deep the knife is. The knife is in you. Therefore, it's going to hurt to some degree.
Hey, bro, money. At the end of the day,
hey,
that's all that anybody cares about. Is
true
money.
Statement.
Why do you think people? The cases are rising, bro. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. But universities and stuff like that, they are, they're gonna follow. They don't have, that tuition, that room and board. They're not, and yeah, so it's all about money at the end of the day. I know in Madison County though, they're gonna go online and see how that works. So that's a step in the right direction. But I don't know. This is gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. What were you saying, Masai?
So for the first 9 weeks, they'll go online.
Yeah. It's gonna be weird. I get used to the new normal though.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely like if you have like pre-existing health conditions, I wouldn't even suggest like going back to school. Like I would just suggest doing online, like however, bro. I wouldn't suggest going back.
Oh yeah, don't come back if you're gonna get sick.
Because a lot of kids have like pretty bad asthma and like other things like that as well, or like diabetes and stuff. Like if I had any of those, I wouldn't be going back to school. Like I would be staying home.
Most definitely.
And it sucks that they're charging y'all full tuition to go back to school too. It's like it's kind of mind stupefying, because the thing is, as a collection as a whole, I think people can prevent stuff like this from happening, but they're allowing themselves to go back to school to like force themselves. I need to be doing something like school and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like school is more important than my life. And it's kind of sad because it doesn't matter how many measures you put in place. Look at daggum hospitals, and they're still getting people who work there sick, and they got freaking layers on layers. So what makes you think that if you put a divider in between a bedroom is gonna stop a virus? Mind you, people like it's dumb to me because I'm like, okay, one, you're risking yourself. And here's the sad thing, it's like everyone at the bottom gets hurt. But let's be real, all the people who like the big presidents and stuff, are they gonna be on campus? No. They're probably gonna be working from somewhere safe where they're not gonna get sick. In this time period when the virus was coming, or even before then, some schools are online. This is a new age. What are y'all doing? Like, stop living like we're in the daggone 90s. Like, this is why people have trust issues with colleges, because they're like, bro, what are you doing for me? I go there, get a degree, pay like what, hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans, and I come out broke, hard to find a job. I get a job, and then I pay that off until I'm. It makes it's kind of dumb because like you're like, okay, y'all should have been had online a long time ago.
You know, it's sad. They're comparing this virus to the Spanish flu, which I think has actually surpassed the death numbers. The 1918 Spanish flu that broke out. Same deal that we're going through. Everybody had to wear masks. You couldn't out everybody, but guess who was president during that time? Woodrow Wilson. So his strategy was not basically what our president is doing right now. Not our president, but you know what I mean. The president we have now, he's just like, all right, it'll just kind of disappear, kind of just go over. And the fact that it's been over 100 years, and we haven't prepared for this type of pandemic. The best thing we have is masks. Which, by the way, not complaining. I'm just saying, like, I feel like we should have improved, in the past 100 years. Plus, or like,
it's one of those things. It's not important.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know I get what you mean. Like, I mean, well, the thing is, like, if you look before Obama had, like, when Ebola came out, right? He had things set in place. He had a task force. So but I do see what you mean, like the things to help, like, stop these things. The thing with like stuff about diseases is a lot of human error, because let's be real, because a lot of this stuff comes from animals, and these animals are where they're usually at, and things that, let's say, prey on these certain animals, they're dying now, or they're going into different habitats because humans are messing the way the ecosystems are. That's why you hear, like, in Antarctica, lots of stuff is frozen, but now it's getting unfrozen. And they're like, bro, we haven't seen viruses like this since like the 1800s. Why is it coming back? Because we're messing with stuff. The world's getting hotter. We're destroying forests. So stuff that's in the forest that will be in the forest and we're not messing with, okay, now it's coming out. Like these animals, and then people eat them. Lord knows what else would they do to them, or people live by them, like bats. That's where a lot of crazy diseases come from, is bats, bird poop, certain monkeys and stuff like that, because people are just messing with stuff they got no business. Like,
yeah. Also, it has to do with that, but for each virus or each disease, you have to treat it differently at the same time. So like, you can't treat this the same you would treat the flu or something else, because it's transmitted differently, and then it has a different effect on like the body. Like Ebola is very, very deadly, but it's harder to get than Corona. Like if Corona was as deadly as
Ebola,
yeah,
that thing is really contagious, bro. It's droplet style.
It's droplet.
Yeah, it's droplets.
Let me look this up real quick.
It's any
Ebola is, if not
fluid.
more contagious than Corona, because Corona is
Corona's contact.
Yes, but Ebola is a lot worse. You can get
Ebola is worse, but I don't think you can get Ebola. It's not more infectious, is it?
No, it is.
To contact the human fluids, because whereas Corona,
it's like, human fluids. So
you're saying you could cough it. So you're saying you could cough and get Ebola.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yes. That's how it spreads so fast, because it's droplets. So I could sweat, I could cough, or any type of thing, and it could come off. And then I don't know if, like, like going into like your sweat evaporating, or you're wiping it off somewhere, stuff like that. So, it's stuff like this is just ridiculous. I don't know. To me, it's sad, because a lot of these things could be prevented, but it's the stupidness of when you have stupid leaders in place, it's like you get a bunch of stupid people,
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad because then people gotta die, and no one should have had to die. But that's what happens when you're stupid.
We have leaders and we have governors and we have mayors that, particularly in the southern eastern states, who have kind of come together in agreement with the president and just kind of had this mentality of everything is going to be all right. I am a super genius. No matter what happens, I know exactly what to do. These leaders are not medical professionals. These leaders are not scientists.
That's very true.
These leaders are Kate Ivey did not go to graduate school for 8 to 12 plus years to study respiratory diseases. There are people who do that kind of work. So to leave it to them, they're the experts. There's a reason why they're called medical professionals, because they know what they're doing. Yeah. So, but we have these politicians that think this reality show is all sorts of game and they got to prove themselves. I don't know what
Two things I want to say real quick. So for as far as Ebola, like it's contagious through bodily fluids, but it's at the ending stage of the disease where it's mostly contagious. So that's like where you could already tell. But Corona, you could be asymptomatic and have it. So that's why Corona's has been more contagious and stuff.
Does Ebola last longer on surfaces?
No, I don't think so, but I don't really know exactly. I haven't looked all that up, but it's like pretty much like kind of like, so like Corona, you could have it and then you could spread it while you have it like in the early stages. So like when you're not showing a lot of symptoms, that's how it spreads so fast. But Ebola, it spreads more so like when you're showing a lot of symptoms and where you're already ill. So
because it starts at the beginning.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying Corona is more contagious on this scale.
Okay. I'll agree with you that because you don't notice it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why like a lot of people are scared that you might be asymptomatic and stuff like that. But real quick, I'm gonna play devil's advocate real quick, and I'm gonna say, okay, nothing too controversial, but I don't like how Donald Trump is handling this per se. But I will say that whoever is in charge and like is the top leader, they can't seem like they're too shaken by events that are happening at the same time. But he's kind of just pushing under the rug, like, oh, this isn't really happening. You shouldn't worry about it. And he's like kind of like encouraging people to use more stupidity against the problem instead of fight against it. A better way would to handle it, in my opinion, would be to still kind of not be too shaken about like the events that are happening, like kind of give your respects to all those that are going through it and stuff, but still seem like you're under control and stuff, and that it's not like kind of like destroying the nation, and kind of like be able to lead the nation, but still incorporate ways to make the disease less effective to like those, like by wearing masks and stuff, like promoting better ways to kind of stop it in a sense.
You know what the simplest thing is to do? This is crazy. Like no one's telling you to wear gloves. Like it's fine. You don't have to wear gloves. The simplest thing, step one, wear a freaking mask. It can be latex, it can be cloth, whatever. Or it could be a bandana. Wear something over your mouth, your nose, or it goes around your ears. Something as simple as that. People are like, nah, this coincides with my constitutional right. Therefore, I'm not going to do it.
See, Raheem, I noticed that you can, like, there's people, even if with overwhelming evidence, they're still going to be dumb, even with science backed by them. And you can't help people like that. At that point, it's up to them to get lost. Like, because there's so much, that's even biblical. Jesus was like, bro, I'm telling you what you're doing, but you want to kill me, right? Like, I'll just let y'all know. Like it's at this point where it's just like, it's sad that it has to, like, people have to die. And even then, some people still don't believe. And what's going to suck is when the flu season comes around, like later on this year. And when that wombo combo comes, people are going to be like, wow, like, I'm like, like, and then it's going to be really bad. And that's the problem people don't realize, because when you have all these things, then you have sensory overload, because the hospitals already can't take it. I read the news, like California, Texas, Florida, and New York are back at capacity again because people keep playing around and these hospitals can't handle it. They're only meant to hold small scale type of things, not on this type of degree. And they're not going to build hospitals for that in the first place because they don't expect these stuff like that. It's sad because it's just like, I don't think people get it. Like, people think it's like it's some sick joke, and I'm like, it's not a joke, bro. And I bet you those people are the same people that don't wash their hands. So, you know, I don't even say anything. I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, going back to what Matthew was saying though, I get how like they're trying to jumpstart back up the economy in the country and stuff like that. But like from what I've seen, it almost seemed like they were trying to like threaten like schools and college and stuff for trying to go all online or like trying to open back up. But really, this one, if you think about it, like with universities and stuff like that, there's people coming from like all over the country, all over the nation, different places. So like it's very easy for like someone to come from like a heavy like COVID problematic place and then be asymptomatic and then like spread it. So that's why I kind of have mixed feelings because I am going back myself. I have mixed feelings about it because if something goes wild, I know I'm either gonna get stuck on campus, whole bunch of sick people. It's just kind of frightening in a way.
It is, dude, and it's sad because. Well, I'm gonna let you say it, Jay.
Oh, I was just saying, I think we're gonna get sent back real quick. I don't think we're gonna be there till Thanksgiving. I'll let y'all know that.
No, you're not.
If one person gets it, you gotta think about the RA who comes through, and then you also gotta think about like the classes, and then those people, what classes do they have? Then what classes do they have? And it just freaking snowballs until everybody gets it. So like
the whole campus is gonna be in lockdown, pretty much. Of course,
pretty much.
So
And no going in and out.
But
do you think it would be smarter for them to send everybody home or for them to just quarantine the whole campus?
Well, they would have to quarantine
They're not
the whole
gonna want
campus
to
because they can't just send everybody back immediately.
I'm saying, but after they finish quarantining the whole campus, do you think they're gonna send everybody back?
Oh,
or do you think they're just gonna go back to having school again?
If Oakwood realizes they can't handle something, they don't have the team, they don't have the resources, they don't have anything to handle this. If they realize, because if one of y'all gets sick, everyone, who's gonna come bring food to y'all? Who's going to take care of the sick people? Who's like, how are classes gonna resume? How are teachers gonna do this? Like, no one thinks about these things. And I'm like, bro, who is running this? And then they think it's funny when they have like, oh, a little small team full of 5 people. We're doing something. Yay. I'm like.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. I'll just real quick. On the flip side, though, like when we switched from like the physical format to online format, like for like university and college work, I absolutely hated it. I'm not gonna lie. So that's why I said I have mixed feelings because like I'm like don't want like outbreak at the same time trying to do like because I'm a biochemistry major, so trying to do like bio labs and chemistry labs online, it just really doesn't feel like you're really getting like what you should be getting out of class.
Yeah.
How are they gonna implement like the dorm? Like, how are roommates? How you gonna social distance with a roommate? Like, I don't understand. Like in that dorm, like a traditional. How is that? Because like even in your beds, you're barely 6 feet apart. Like, so.
They're gonna have a little divider, but the thing is, you're still sharing toilets and sinks and fridges and all that joint.
The doorknob, for crying out loud. What if one person goes in like 2 minutes after one person's already in the room? That's already contact. That's why it doesn't make sense.
I mean, honestly, when 2 people are gonna be sleeping, that's gonna be like the least contact they're gonna have with each other, and that's when the dividers are. Like when they're sleeping, of course they're gonna be separated from each other. So with the divider being there or not, I mean, of course they have to take the precautions. Like
yeah, of course. But.
Yeah, but it's still just like I don't know if it's gonna be as effective as they're hoping for it. But
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that's all I can say. It is.
I wonder if the kids are still coming into Peterson.
I hope not, because that'll just be more
make
bodies. And you already know they're gonna be off and on campus and everything too.
It's gonna be interesting. That's all I can say. This is unprecedented.
But I mean, the reason why I'm not too shaken up about it going back is because I'm trying to go into the medical field already. So even like,
I get it.
If this happens again, I'm most likely gonna be in the hospital, like as a nurse. So it won't really matter, like either way. So, but I'm just worried about like those who have like health conditions and other people who don't have good immune systems and like older people and stuff like that. Those are the people who I don't want it to get to track back all the way to them.
I don't think I've even seen one.
You never seen Martin?
Oh,
everybody hates Chris.
Bill Cosby?
Bro,
okay.
the world? Come on,
Bill Cosby. That's okay. And I've kind of seen some different ones. Okay. Maybe I've seen a couple. Okay.
Does the Proud Family count? I think it should count.
yeah, Proud Family. I'll count.
Blackish.
It's been so long.
I didn't really watch that much.
I never
of
watched Blackish, for real.
It's more of a it's like a recent news type show. It's not like, oh, remember the days where like it's not like a Martin. It's not like a Fresh Prince. It's not like those. It's just more of a. It talks about real issues and like comedy.
Fresh Prince was tough. Let me think.
I didn't watch that one that much.
Really?
I've seen episodes, but not a lot of it.
Yeah, I haven't seen Marvin at all.
Martin?
He
said Marvin.
Yeah, we can tell.
Marvin.
No, we're in the same boat, Jalen.
If you look back at some of the episodes on Martin, just look at like the breaking characters. It's like over 50 of them. They just like broke characters all the time. Like that's what made the show, I think, progress. I think it started in like 94, 93 maybe, when they just like Martin started doing characters, bro. Jerome, Dragonfly Jones, my personal favorite. Shanae, Otis, Bob from telemarketing, like characters, and along with like just in general the show. It was just it seemed so organic. It was just like it made you want to watch every episode, 3 minutes.
Yeah. The cast had really good chemistry on Martin for sure.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, nice. On Marvin? Yeah.
Marvin.
That's probably my favorite out of all the shows we named so far.
That is really a different world, bro. I like it better than Cosby's show.
That's hard though, because a different world was really good.
Produced by Cosby, so
I like it better than Cosby too.
Yeah, I'd like it better than Cosby.
And I saw all the episodes of A Different World.
Yes, hey.
This is tough for me because I've been more exposed to Fresh Prince. So that's probably going to be my favorite just because I've had the most exposure to Fresh Prince.
First things first, rest in peace.
Listen,
yes, for real.
Thank you. Is Corey in the house count?
That's So Raven and Corey in the house.
I don't know if I
count
for real
That's
Black
So
Raven.
Bro,
I think you can count That's So Raven over Corey in the house.
Sister.
Because there was like more than one black person in That's So Raven. But like in Corey in the house, it was just the dad and then the son. And then Raven guest starred.
That was just Disney.
Yeah.
No, let me see. Sister, Moesha, stuff like
Family
that.
Matters. Who watched Moesha?
Yes, sir.
I did a little bit.
I did a tad bit.
Moesha.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and finish the whole show one day though.
Bro, what is that?
I don't think it's that deep. Oh, y'all seen 101?
Bruh.
101.
101. What?
Oh, that's the one with Flex and
yeah. And
I saw a little bit of it.
I grew up watching that one. That was good.
Family Matters.
And the theme song was really good too. What else?
Oh, did y'all watch Half and Half?
I did watch Half.
That sounds massive.
It was good.
I gotta look it up.
A lie.
Oh, Girlfriends was so underrated. I know it's like a girl show, but like,
my girlfriends.
it was
I watched that. I will always catch it because my mama was watching it.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I've seen like every single episode of Good Times, bro. I love Good
Oh
Times.
my god.
Good times, temporary labor.
Just moving out of the window. It's so sad. Like, listen to the lyrics. It's like keeping your head above water. Like, you constantly in debt. Oh, the Jeffrey.
Hey. Hit the notes.
Oh wait, haven't you guys seen What's Happening?
No.
What's happening now?
Yeah.
Oh, the dude who like rerun.
Yeah.
MMA popping lock. Bruh.
Yeah.
That was an old show.
Oh,
It was
what
pretty
about
funny.
Smart Guy?
I never watched it. I heard
Really? I never watched it though.
I've just never
I saw
heard
that
of
more than Urkel.
Steve Urkel.
Did I do that?
Hey, did y'all? I know this is kind of off topic, but did y'all watch the? No, I'm sure y'all watched Key and Peele, but there was one episode where they had Tyler James Williams play Urkel, and he was like, I don't know if y'all seen it, but
I think I remember that one. But
yeah, he was
vaguely.
like, it was always family matters.
I remember that. No, that one was,
That was
funny.
hilarious.
I remember that. That was funny. I remember that episode.
I didn't have cable. I never watched
You can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
They
luckily they
posted
uploaded
it.
like most of it on YouTube now.
Hey?
Yeah.
What show is that?
That's the only way I
Key and
watched
Peele.
it.
Family Matters.
Really?
Oh,
How
yeah.
many times have Keenan?
Yeah, that's true. Because I don't think I watched the show like on Comedy Central. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
I
me
saw
neither.
the skits on YouTube.
Just on
when they were
YouTube.
posting it. Yeah. And then there's like exclusive ones that was on the show that they didn't post on YouTube. But now since the show's off air, they're just putting them on YouTube now, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen like
Yeah.
at least hundreds of those little skits.
Yeah. Now they're on their own stuff.
Thanks. Freaking Keenan's on SNL. Kel is doing a show on Nickelodeon, I think. I mean, they're both doing well.
Wait, what?
I mean, yeah, they got the
No,
movies
Key
and
and
stuff
Peele,
too.
Key and Peele. Wrong one. You talking about Good Burgers, right?
Wait. Y'all are talking about Keenan and Kel or Key and Peele?
No, we're
Key and
talking about
Peele.
Key and Peele.
Oh,
Oh.
bro, I didn't watch Key and Peele,
You
bro.
said
Oh, Key and
Nickelodeon,
Peele
and
are dope.
my brain short circuited, bro. I was like,
I was on
what?
a whole different wavelength, bro. Because y'all said Comedy Central, and I was like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Oh, but yeah, I watched like every
Yeah.
single thing on YouTube about Keenan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
I thought y'all was still talking about Keenan and Kel.
I
No,
thought the
man.
first thing you was gonna say was Get Out and Lion King, and this fool said Nickelodeon. I was like, what?
Did y'all watch all that?
Yes.
All I remember
This is all that.
that is.
My little sister has though. I don't know how. I think she bootlegs it.
Oh shoot, I got one. Did y'all see In Living Color?
I saw a little bit.
Bro,
Amazing.
one of the greatest improv.
Is that what Jim Carrey's in?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where he got
Yeah.
his start,
The
bro.
entire-
That's where Jim
This,
Carrey.
he put his entire family on.
He did.
All his family members got on TV.
His whole family, bro.
I'm gonna have to watch.
Crazy.
In
There
Living-
was one of them was a DJ. He got the Wayans twins. I mean all the Wayans, bro. That's crazy. The whole Wayans family, all up in there. That's crazy.
I
That's
like
what you
the,
call
Lisa-
a true black king right there. That's crazy.
Yeah. I like the Police Academy episode with Jim Carrey. He was like,
Oh yeah. You see the one where he was a chef and he was like chopping his fingers off and
oh, dude.
Oh, I remember that. That was funny.
That'll go down as one of the greats. That was like the Chappelle show before. That was like one of the, I don't know.
They had
one of the
riots back
many
then.
skit shows.
They had riots back then too. I forgot which
Riots?
riots there were. There were some riots that went on during that time of the show, and they had like that on the actual show as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure we haven't even touched like half of them, but
I know, but it's hard.
I mean, because a lot of them were like old, so
Yeah.
I didn't really get exposed to them unless like my parents were watching them.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had Bounce TV. That's how I watched like different Cosby show.
Yeah.
Fat Albert. Another one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Fat Albert was good.
I think I've
I
only
used
seen
to
like
watch
the
that when I
movie.
was little.
Little Bill. Does that count?
Bruh,
Yeah, that was my
I
show.
guess. I guess.
That's just a show.
No, that's
Like
for
Caillou.
sure a black show. Like the entire family was black. Bill Cosby was the creator of it, and now he's in jail.
R.I.P. man. Cliff Huxtable is still my hero. I don't care.
Yeah.
Bro,
I feel like he was
why did you have to touch them women?
He was way too lenient. Cliff was way too lenient on his kids. Like all of them eventually lived back at home. Like once they had to like come back.
Oh yeah.
They did come back.
Bro, that is not the reality of black parents. That's not what.
Bro, I just remember the opening theme. All of them were fire, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
They were all dancing.
I always wanted to be one of those kids, bro.
Bro, honestly. They were just all in it, every single one of them.
Wait for Netflix to remake it.
Bro,
No, Netflix can never.
You know what they should never remake? They should never remake Martin. They should never remake honestly, they shouldn't remake a Fresh Prince.
Actually, speaking of remake of Fresh Prince, did you see they had a trailer for the Fresh Prince? Like a remake of it.
Yeah.
And did you see that? That was actually amazing.
Yeah.
It was
good.
I don't know. It was a fan made trailer, but it was really good. Like Will Smith himself saw it and he was like, shoot.
It got like serious too.
Yeah. So if those people did like a remake of Fresh Prince, I'd watch it. If it was a movie or something, or I don't know, whoever did that, I would watch it if they did. That's what I'm saying.
See, the thing is, like with fan made stuff though, like it could look fire, but then like when you get the actual whenever it comes on the actual service, it's not gonna look that good. Like if they had a if you remember the live action for My Hero.
Yeah,
that was fire. That was fire. But imagine if Netflix made a live action for My Hero, I guarantee it wouldn't be that good.
It just has to have the same people involved. If
Yeah,
it's not, if they don't have
the exact people, the same.
If the person who made the fan thing isn't in charge of like all the talent, it's like, then I don't want to see it. Other than that, though.
Oh wow, this is really good.
Are you watching it? The Fresh Prince one? Yeah, it's amazing.
Certain terms like depression is overrated. Like people use depression and anxiety as like an excuse.
They conflate the terms. Yeah.
Really, dude.
They just like. Oh,
I was just talking about this last night. That's crazy.
Yeah. Use it as a personality, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like you don't have anxiety. You're just going through life. Calm down.
Okay. I have something to say to that. So, because I was just talking about this last night, and it's something that I find like super annoying, and I had like an argument on this like one other day. But like the fact that psychology has conflated the two terms together, like they made this whole paradigm of an illness out of the word depression. But depression and anxiety are both things that humans naturally feel. It's not a clinical illness. But then they made a clinical illness called depression. And that's just the most confusing thing ever. Because then when people are saying that, oh, I have depression, you don't have to be clinically diagnosed to understand that you're depressed. And you don't have to be clinically diagnosed to understand that you have anxiety. But there's a difference between being clinically depressed and like having clinical like anxiety. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like
it's if you go through like if every day you wake up, say like on the depression topic, we're gonna separate the two from the depression topic.
Yeah.
Say every day you wake up and throughout the day you just feel you try to have like happy thoughts, but they're just not coming out. You have to take medicine in order for you to even remotely feel.
Yeah, that's a chemical imbalance.
That is when you have to like realize, like,
But Messiah, you're Messiah's talking about in the sense that, like, okay, people who are depressed, and I'll say this to what you're saying, Messiah. I understand, like, depression comes because life in general, that's human nature.
Yeah.
But I think people will say depression in the sense because it can go worse. I think that's why we say it's thing, because it can develop into something that's cyclical, and then it spirals into a bunch of other stuff that will just destroy. Because if depression turns into stress and amongst other things.
Well, the thing is, for each person, like you could have the same situation, but each person's going to react different. Is going to have a different level of anxiety and stress. So like, say like I get a cut and then I'm just chilling and then I put a Band-Aid on it. I might not get anxiety from that, but then somebody else gets a cut and then they're like, oh, they start freaking out. They're going to get anxiety and other things just from that. It's the same cut, but it's just how we handle it in a certain way. That's why some people, when they get depressed, they handle it in such a bad way that it kind of just keeps on spiraling down. So yeah.
But like going to what Masai was saying, like about how you were saying like how they like everybody can experience depression. It's like they don't have to merge it like to be like clinical illness. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Masai?
Well, I'm saying there's two completely different things. Clinical depression is a genetic disease to where in your brain
you're imbalanced. Your hormones.
You produce enough dopamine, so you're emotionally at a level below everybody else, and that's abnormal all the time. Whereas if you're depressed, that is a factor. It's externally, you're directly reacting to your outside environment. It's nothing to do with your head or inside of your head or chemicals. It has to do with stimulus outside of your environment that's influencing you. That's what I'm saying. It's different.
Okay, I think what people probably were trying to do with that though is just let people know that they need to actually go and get help, like see therapists. Because like if someone could think like maybe feel sad or depressed, but like if someone's like actually like diagnosed them as clinical depression or something like that, they're more likely to go and try to receive help. So that's what I've kind of.
So you're saying that they're like, okay, so their goal in conflating the two terms or making them synonymous was to make sure that people who have depression or to have symptoms of depression or symptoms of anxiety to get tested or get help for that. Is that what you're saying?
Like
I think
like they're like have therapy and stuff. Like they wanted people to like feel like that they should see like professional help. Like not necessarily like have to take like medicine, but like just like therapy and stuff like that.
I can understand that, but I just don't like the fact that it confuses people, because then people think that you can't say that you're depressed because they're like, I haven't been diagnosed or I'm not being treated for it. So then therefore I don't like it seems like now today there's like gatekeepers on what emotions different people can feel. So if I'm a person, if I say that I have anxiety about this, anxiety means that you are fretting a future event. That's what anxiety means. It's future nervousness, you know? So if I say that I have anxiety, I'm for me personally, I'm going to be talking about I'm nervous about a future event. But then other people will think, oh, since it's like that term's conflated, people will think, oh, you have like panic attacks and stuff like that, and you have genuine issues, and your body reacts to things for no reason, and you have an intrinsic issue. And it's, I just think that there's differences, and there should be a differentiation between the two. We shouldn't have made the terms mushed together.
Well, okay, I feel like that's true, because then like that brings a lot more confusion to like if you have like actual medical disorder in your brain, or if you're just feeling like really down and stuff, like from trauma or from something that happened. But also that can help in a way at the same time, because if you have a medical disorder, you're not going to know that unless you're going to have symptoms of depression, not the medical disorder depression, but you're going to have symptoms like you're going to be depressed and stuff. But the only way you could find that out is if you actually went to see help from like an actual doctor. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
So each way, like no matter if you say, oh, I'm depressed or I have depression, if it was a different disease, okay, let me say it this way, because it's hard using the same word to mean different things.
Wait, are we talking about depression and anxiety? Correct.
No, not. I haven't touched anxiety yet.
I'm just saying, is that what the terms that we're using?
We're talking about depression. Basically, right now we're talking about depression being like meaning two different things. like clinical depression, and then like depression that everybody can experience.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
so
the
that's
actual
what
emotion.
you're talking. You're talking
But-
about two different. Okay.
But I'm saying
Right.
like say if I had a different disease, or say I had a disease and say depression, the clinical depression was named something else. If I had that, I would never know. I wouldn't know to just directly go and get tested for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this way, it kind of helps people like, oh, I'm feeling depressed. Let me go get tested, and then they could just easily classify.
Well, it's not. Well, it's not a test. It's a diagnosis. Like you have to go to a professional in order to get that. But I'm saying like, I'm saying the problem is it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't. The term shouldn't be combined in the first place. They mean two different things, and it's confusing. And I'm just saying I disagree with the fact that they've mushed these terms together, and I don't like. And if you mush the terms together in order to get people to go get help, I think that's a little bit duplicit in nature. Why couldn't you just name it? I mean, if you call it what it is, major like you say, major depressive disorder, that makes sense. But if you have depression, you're gonna go. I'm not saying not everybody can like afford help or can get help, but I'm saying if you have depression,
you should go.
It would, yeah. It's kind of a like you should be getting help for your problem. You know what I mean?
No, but I definitely agree with you because like it kind of like it's hard to differentiate. Like if I were to say, oh, I'm depressed right now, it would be like, does he need meds, or like does he need this or that, or does
Well,
he need
that turns into a
does he
societal.
need a hug or
not
meds?
just-
Like you'd be like, what?
You know,
Yeah.
that's a societal issue, how they view people who are depressed.
Well,
then
but doctors. I was saying, but doctors' job is like to make things easier. It wouldn't make any sense if it doesn't make sense that they make this jargon that confuses the general public. Because now, because those two terms are so similar, they're the same term. People think that you cannot, as a person, have depression when you're not clinically depressed. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, go ahead.
I think what you're saying, Messiah, is that you should have separate categories for the depression. So they should have one for clinical and one for, I would say, everyday depression.
Yeah, I mean, I think we already do. Like, we have seasonal depression disorder, major depressive disorder, and different stuff like that. But I'm saying when it comes down to the general public, it's people still get confused to where they're like, if somebody says, I'm depressed, and then somebody's like, have you been clinically diagnosed? It's like, well, it's not really. I don't think you can be clinically.
Yeah.
It doesn't need a diagnosis.
Medical terms like doing that too.
Yeah.
Because like
there are people who take advantage of they take advantage of those. They're just saying it because they want somebody to feel. There are certain people who take advantage, who want people to feel like, oh, have pity on me. You know, what about me? Like, I'm going through something. Have pity on me. There are people who take advantage of that versus there are actual people who don't speak out on it, and they're actually going like real problems.
Yeah, and well, going what you're saying, it's depression is like a spectrum. It's not like a one set thing. So it's like you have low and then a high, and then that going high is the people who have there's an imbalance in my brain, and then low meaning I have a series of outside stressors that are messing with my neural network, and if this doesn't stop, it can progress to the higher end of the spectrum, to where it's clinical. So I agree with you. So I see, and I think there needs to be a difference. Like, you have depression, but we need to give you a spectrum.
But I'm saying that they're two. Well, here's the thing: there's two completely different things. Clinical depression can be genetically passed down. It's an illness. It's a mental illness to where, like, for example, schizophrenia as well. It can be passed down genetically. So if your mom's schizophrenic, it could go to you, and then you develop schizophrenic symptoms. And all that is an overproduction of dopamine, where you start hallucinating, having these different traits like manifest later on in life. So like we don't have, but then it's not like we confuse the term. If we say schizophrenic, we're not thinking it means like crazy or whatever, you know what I mean? Schizophrenia is when you have like that's conflating terms. It's like the same thing. People are like
but that's the thing with people when you talk about psychology, because people are dumb. You got to remember that too. People, I work with people, and I had a dude who has a condition. I'm not going to go into details, but they look at him like he's crazy because even like people who have any like you can see how people treat if you have a mental condition. That's why people don't talk about it because they will treat you like trash. It don't matter who you are, and it's sad to say, but that's how they treat people with mental illness.
So you're saying that to make that harsh treatment go away, we should make terms that sound, I guess, like things that everybody can experience?
Not even that. It's just you have to rebrand what this actually is, because let's look like if you look in like media and certain things, like okay, you have these movies about people who have schizophrenia, and there are people like that, but the majority of them are not like that. So you have, or people with depression, they're like, oh, these sad emo kids, this is like, you know, or like this and that, or like people who have what's the one with the delusions, or DID or something like that. Like if you listen to these people, they're not crazy, and like, or they don't know what they're doing. They're like people just like you and me. They experience things, but people think, oh, they have this thing, so they're nuts, or I don't want to be around them, and that's how people view them, and it's sad because you're just like, oh wow.
Do you think that's a different issue though? Because you're saying we're saying that crazy people are synonymous with people with mental health, but you're saying that that's the public opinion that people.
I'm just talking about mental health in general, how people view mental health. I'm just giving it. So like when you talk about depression, like, oh, are you good? Or like, you know what I'm saying, you need meds, and that goes back to what you're saying, like, okay, there needs to be a separation, like even like that's why, you know, like people who take psychology in class, like you see, like if you ever take a psychology, some people don't take it seriously. It's just a class you take and you're gone. Like and when you see people in class, they're not taking it seriously. Like, you know, like when, I don't know if you ever took the thing where like, okay, you close your eyes and this is what a schizophrenic person hears, like constantly, all the time. They hear voices, you know, and some people think it's weird or crazy or something like that. Or like, even like with people with depression, or like they don't realize they have some form of it, or they don't realize it passes down, or like you're saying, like they just may have like a seasonal depression, and that happens. And I think that has to go to a better understanding of psychological. It's like, okay, let's even talk about people, how they view therapy, because people don't like, especially Black people, they don't do that because the trust with health in general, and that goes spans of years. So I think that's something that has to be unwounded, like way over time, like how people view people who have depression on levels with any type of mental illness, I think.
Okay, so Nate, going with the word crazy,
I think that
who would you consider crazy? Like, what type of people would you actually consider crazy? Because like anybody that you consider, well, a lot of the portion of people you consider crazy, it could also be said, oh, they have a mental disorder, or like they have mental problems.
Oh, come on, my internet.
Nate. Well, Messiah, you can answer it first.
I wasn't listening. What you said? Oh, you saying who? I heard the first part. You said who would you consider crazy?
Yeah, like
can you repeat the other part?
That was the main question. Like, what type of people?
I would say that there's nobody that's crazy. I think everybody's got some sort of mental ailment. But everybody has some sort of like different thing that's like afflicting them. But no, I wouldn't consider anybody crazy. I think the problem with mental health today is that there's a public opinion that like people who have a mental illness are intrinsically less than, and I think that's a problem. But other than that, no, I don't think there'd be anybody.
So you don't think there's anybody in this whole world that's crazy? You think everybody's kind of battling with their own thing?
Okay.
It's like
it's a hard topic. Like,
I do want to answer. I want to change my answer. I think that crazy would be. Yeah. Okay. I'll say that. I think that crazy is any form of thinking to where it's compromises another human being's safety. That's what I'm going to say. So that's what crazy would be. If you cannot function as a member in society and you pose a threat to other people, that would be something that I would deem as crazy. But that's a kind of a derogatory term.
Yeah, that's what it's used.
I know it's used as derogatory, but I'm not taking it like in that sense. But I'm just taking like.
Nah, you just asking the question. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because I wouldn't say mental, like people that have mental issues are crazy, because pretty much everybody has mental issues in some type of way. But it's also, you could also flip that around, and most people that you would consider crazy taking out people that are on heavy drugs and opioids and stuff like that. But people that you would consider crazy, most of them would have a mental issue, or you could like easily put them in a mental ward and classify them as that, because that's one of the defining like types of ways that they see if you're a threat to your surroundings, people, or yourself.
So, yeah, that's what they do. But the sad thing is when you talk about stuff like that, like I think like we were talking about, people are crazy. It's like derogatory, like they're not humans or they're not struggling with things. So I guess that connotation, like they're not normal, or they're not this, or all these words that we kind of put around people to make them feel worse about themselves, kind of sucks. And that goes into another level of psychology of using words to kind of just.
But then what if we, instead of saying like people are crazy, because you're applying that as a state of a person, but you're labeling a person. But what if instead of saying that they are crazy, what if they say that they're engaging in crazy acts or they're doing crazy things? You know what I mean?
Instead of just saying that's a different situation. So then instead of the person being, it's just what they're doing. So then they're two separate things, and that's how I think it should be viewing, probably.
Right.
But no one's gonna go that deep in thinking. You know what I'm saying? They're just gonna go straight to the person. Like, oh,
I think
crazy,
the more people do it, people will go into the thing. I think first you have to like have the conversation first, for sure. But I think after people understand, and it can be, put on like a bigger, more people are exposed to the idea that, hey, people who have like mental issues are still people, because everybody has mental issues,
Yeah. I'm not. Oh, what were you saying, Ryan?
It kind of goes into basically like what we're all saying is being politically correct, like making sure you use the right terms towards certain people. It's very important to not just use them loosely, because they could be, as we've all just discussed, they could be placed in the wrong category, in a category that we did not intend for them to be in. We didn't intend for people who have depression to be in this one big category. Intention was, let's differentiate, and this goes for whatever mental illness or mental condition that you're in. You have to, I think, being politically correct is required in this type of conversation. You're describing another human being, so you can't just say what you think. You have to be specific in that category.
But to a certain extent, it does make sense why you could so easily label a person, because in this world, it's so easy to get a title, but it's so hard to get rid of it. So if I got the title of being depressed, or I got the title of having split personalities, that's not something that I could just kind of get rid of as easily. To get clinically oh, you're cured now per se, that would be a lot harder than getting the actual clinical diagnosis, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Wait, so you're saying that it's harder to function as I'm a little confused with what you're saying.
Okay, so if you did something really stupid, Messiah, and everybody was like, oh, this man's crazy and stuff, and you got locked up in a ward, it would be a lot harder to get out than it is to get in. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I get what you mean, because it's just like you're saying, now that you've been labeled as someone depressed,
and it's like
that label's gonna be stuck with you, even if you're talking about in the medical sense, because they're always gonna, and that's one thing that's sad about with psychology sometimes. I feel like it's called this infinite loop, because this is my kind of paranoid field. I think that sometimes with psychology, sometimes we will tell people these things so we can make the money off them and put them in this loop, and then be able to just keep making money off them, give them drugs and stuff. And then instead of doing other things that could potentially heal people, like Matt was saying, it's so hard to get rid of this label that, you're stuck,
Well, I see what you're saying, but I have something to add to that, is that even, I see what you're saying, and it seems like you're framing it as if people want, or it's kind of like a conspiratorial type thing, to where they want to make more money off of mentally ill people who have issues, but they may mislabel just to like keep them in that system to like keep churning money. But I do want to say that it, while I can agree that that probably happens on some scale.
I just said this is my paranoia. I won't.
Yeah.
I'm not as well.
No, I
don't
can
really
agree
say
that it
anything.
happens on some scale, but I'm saying I agree with you. But I'm saying that the motives may be a little bit different. And what I've seen is that there have been like multiple studies to where there have been people who are actually like clinicians who basically admit themselves into a mental asylum, and they're like, hey, I have this problem, this problem, this problem. I'm schizophrenic, and I'm a danger to myself and other people. So they would be admitted in, but they would have no issues. So they would spend the first like week or so acting like they had the problem, and then after the rest of the time that they were there, they would have trouble getting out because they wouldn't present as if they had these issues. They would say, I'm not crazy. I was just actually doing this for an experiment. And then the people who were there would just mark it down as delusion. And they would
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's what you were saying the whole time?
Yeah.
It's like this loop now. So now it's like they're trying to keep it. And like I said, this is probably to some degree, and I believe it does happen because like I feel like it's weird to say, but like when you have people fully healed, no one's getting paid. It's sad to say. That's why you have that whole concept in business called drug loss and drug lag. That meaning if you don't make a drug fast enough, you lose money. Or if it reaches the market too fast and it's not developed, you lose money also. It's a real deep term, but it's like, you know, and that's why people hate going to the hospital because sometimes it feels like you're stuck. I keep paying money and like you're, but I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying
I agree with that though. Yeah. I can agree with that. But what I was saying is that it wasn't necessarily like them trying to get money. It was actually like an inherent flaw within the system to where mental health professionals sometimes, if a person says that they're one thing or gives them, once you have a diagnosis on you, everything that you say will confirm the diagnosis.
It's hard to get.
If that makes any sense.
That's what I'm saying. It's harder to get rid of the title than to get it.
Right.
And also, I wouldn't even say it is a flaw in the system.
I would say that for me.
Wait. Let me say this real quick. I would say that it's hard even to fix, like, to find a solution to that. Because like if I have cancer or something, you could like physically check to see if it's gone. But if I have a mental illness, it's not something you could just physically check, like, and you'll have your answer like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's harder with mental diseases and stuff like
because
that.
It's not like an it's an abstract thing. It's not like concrete. You can't see it or anything.
That's why the title's so hard to get rid of than if it was a physical disease.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. I think that's a very powerful thing to like understand and to keep in mind is that mental illness is only a set of traits that people agree upon. So like it's hard to see. So like if even professionals who have trained in this stuff for years have issues with people that they've diagnosed. I don't know. That's very difficult, especially if you have this label, your personal autonomy is basically taken away because you can't care for yourself. You don't have your own like opinion or anything because I guess you're labeled as you can't take care of yourself or you're a threat to yourself and other people. So it's like why should your opinion or how you view yourself even matter if you are delusional and having like
that scary part. It's like now you're stuck because it's like, okay, now we're instead of you telling what you think you are, we're telling what you are. It don't matter what you think. It's like you're crazy or like you're not crazy, but you have this issue because we told you it. And that's one thing that gets kind of scary. It's kind of like a placebo effect. Like you believe something because someone told you and because they have this higher level. And now because they have that higher level and they have this expertise, you believe it so because they told you. You're supposed to trust the doctor.
Yeah, it's like it's an appeal to authority because you don't have any expertise in the field. So you're trusting an authoritative figure, but even so, it's that if the authoritative figure is wrong, who do we trust? So that's
the scary part to me about like when you talk about medicine or any type of thing because you're like, dang, like, am I? You know what I'm saying? Like you starting to question your own
thoughts and everything. And it's really, that's why I think psychology is so interesting and it's so dangerous and it's so like fluid, because like it's hard to like get these clear definition of things because you can't see what the brain thinks. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Matt was saying, like you can't see a disease, you can't, or like if someone's hurt, like it's all in your head. You can't imagine what someone hears or sees. We can give like, you know, like in class, like, okay, this is what like schizophrenic people hear, but we don't know on a one-to-one basis, okay, this is definitely what they're hearing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what's crazy too, and it
different
changes
people
over
have
time.
different symptoms. Yes.
That's what gets crazy. And I think that's like with like you talk back to the depression thing. People have different symptoms, and then like, how do I know that I'm really depressed? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's just like this feeling that I'm going through just today. Like, you know, like I think that goes in like, you know, sometimes people are like, oh, like, you know, during middle school sucks. Everybody knows that. Everyone who's lived on Earth, middle school sucks. But you know, are you really depressed, or is it just this time period where I'm going through this thing and like, you hope it phases out? You know what I'm saying? It's this weird area. Okay, is it gonna phase out? What am I gonna do? Or, you know what I'm saying? Is this something that just happens today? You know, it's weird.
Yeah. And that is why I don't do therapy.
Oh Lord, Matt.
All right, guys. Again, I appreciate y'all joining me in this video. It meant a lot to my viewers out there. Again, this is Dorm Talkin, the crew. This is their crew. Please go watch some of their videos. They're on their channels up and running. Watch some of theirs. They have from sense of humor topics to real issues that are going on in America. So go watch them. Go check them out. Subscribe. I will put their channel in the description. As for this video, thank you guys for watching. Like and comment down below. Tap that bell.
Yeah, y'all better like and subscribe, boy. Like and subscribe to our boy GK.
You're ruining my outro.
Like and subscribe.
Ignore Nate. Tap that bell for notifications. No matter what, tap that bell for notifications. And subscribe to the Dream King channel. Future videos.
JJ, man.
All right.